Hello, my friends. Today we're going to be celebrating July and America by seeing San Diego Comicon get destroyed in 1995. Would you look at that? This is Godzilla vs. Hero Zero, and you'll find this collected in this long out of print Dark Horse collection, but there's no cover art inside. This is the first page of the first issue. That's the last page of the last issue. Nothing in between. What are you doing? But some great artwork in there, and I love seeing it in black and white. So we'll go back to that. But this is the main book. This is the cover you'll see. Arthur Adams, so cool. He's not doing the interior artwork, but I'm never mad seeing him on a cover. This is written by Michael Eury with art by Tatsuya Ishida, and I'll get back to that later. But the issue starts off with the military tracking Godzilla and this superhero who we're given a quick introduction to, who's on the scene. I looked him up, and apparently he's had a number of appearances, miniseries, and just individual appearances in other books. But this is canonically the last story he appears in, and he retires after encountering Godzilla. And spoilers, but Godzilla's the reason he decides to give up the cape, so to speak. I love this image right here of Godzilla rising up from the depths, and then we see him so scary and beefy here. But in the meantime, we see our hero showing up on the scene in San Diego because he's there for Comic-Con. As you can see by his mask shirt, he's a bit of a nerd. And we're going to see an over-representation of Dark Horse nerdery at Comic-Con because this is a Dark Horse book. And you can just linger on this page forever looking at all the details and trying to pair them. But my eyes were drawn to this little cartoon fella there because I recognize that from a webcomic I read way back in the day, like 2000, 2001 when I was in high school. I remember reading a webcomic called Sinfest with that little character running around being a morally unjust person and being taught the error of his ways as angels and demons tried to sway him one direction or another. It was quite humorous and cute. I remember liking it quite a lot. But that pulled me out of the book, so I double-checked the artist. I looked at him like, that sounds like the name of the guy. It's got to be him. I looked it up. Sure enough, it was. So that's a real funny connection. And the guy draws a hell of a Godzilla, so that's an awesome sort of thing to just find out about all these years later. And I hadn't even been reminded of the fella in so long, too. I just stopped reading webcomics when I was in my early 20s or so. But we get to see the fun of San Diego getting ripped apart. Get some fun old school ads. Godzilla's just smashing through everything. And we have this unfortunate bit here where in the rubble of the fight, so sad, the bus that was carrying the hero dude's dad and his best friend who were there for Comic-Con with him ends up getting hit, and oh no, so tragic. We look right here. Oh no, not Billy, his best friend Billy. Oh no. And I gotta say that scene hit so much harder in the black and white here of the collection. I don't know if it's the garish colors of the costume or the warm yellow of the no screen, but the stark black and whites right here, and just the highlighting of the human body, the muscles, and just the you can kind of feel the anguish in the body more there, and the colors don't distract from it. I feel like I can see this guy's face. I can feel his pain more on the black and white page, but maybe that's just me. I always appreciate a good black and white though too. But then he really tears it at Godzilla. He uses the last of his strength to just get super duper big, grabs Godzilla, flings him out into the middle of the ocean, and uses up the last of his powers, passes out into the water. Last page is him waking up in the hospital and his dad's there. They're looking at the destruction of the city, and the kid says, "I don't want to be a hero anymore." What a downer of an ending. Not that Godzilla stories are like opposed to such a thing, but it was so fun seeing San Diego get ripped up, and it was the idea of San Diego Comicon especially. It's just real sad that his best friend died, but what a way to end your career, with a fight with Godzilla. You know, and who the fellow who made this character can say that's the canon ending to his dude he made. He fought Godzilla. That's pretty neat. Overall, I'd say this is a fun issue. The artwork is really good inside, and this cover is really dope. You're going to have a lot better luck finding this single issue floating around in a long box or a dollar bin than you will seeing this collection on a bookshelf in a store, just for the long out of print nature of it. But if you can find either one, I highly recommend it. And there's a lot of good material in this book too. And we'll cover some of that later, because we got all Kaiju Lai coming up, and there's going to be a lot more Godzilla in store. So I'll see you then.